Have you ever heard of a painter who, in an era dominated by men, became one of the most celebrated artists of her time, even rivaling the great John Singer Sargent? Today, we're diving into the extraordinary life and art of Cecilia Beaux, a true American visionary in portraiture. Born in Philadelphia in 1855, Cecilia's life began with a profound loss. Her mother passed away just 12 days after her birth. This tragedy led her French father to return to France, leaving Cecilia and her sister to be raised by their maternal grandmother and aunts. It was this family of strong, independent women who would shape her future. They nurtured her artistic talents from a young age, recognizing a spark that needed to be fanned into a flame. Her uncle, a painter himself, gave her some of her first formal lessons. This close-knit, matriarchal upbringing instilled in her a sense of self-reliance and ambition that was quite rare for women of her time. Interestingly, Cecilia Beaux never married. She once wrote that she preferred being a woman to being a wife and mother. This was a radical stance in the 19th century, when societal expectations for women were narrowly defined. She chose her career, her art, over the traditional path. This decision allowed her to dedicate herself entirely to her passion. Her private life, while not scandalous, was a quiet rebellion against convention. She valued her independence above all, a theme that echoes powerfully through her work and her life story. She forged her own path, proving that a woman could achieve professional success and personal fulfillment on her own terms. Cecilia's journey from a talented amateur to a professional powerhouse began right at home. She started by drawing fossil illustrations for a family friend, a paleontologist. This meticulous work honed her skills and precision in detail, but her real breakthrough came when she started painting portraits of her family. These early works were not just practice. They were imbued with a psychological depth that was startling. Her painting Les Derniers Jours d'Enfance, a portrait of her sister and nephew, was accepted into the prestigious Paris Salon in 1887. This was a huge deal. It was like an indie band getting a headlining spot at a major festival without even having an album out. This early success gave her the confidence to pursue art not just as a hobby, but as a viable career. From that point on, Cecilia's career was a series of incredible milestones. She wasn't just good, she was phenomenal. In the 1890s, she was invited to teach at the Pennsylvania Academy of the Fine Arts, becoming the first woman to hold a regular teaching position there. Think about that, breaking barriers in an institution that had been a bastion of male tradition for nearly a century. Her portraits were in high demand, and she painted some of the most prominent figures of her day, including First Lady Edith Roosevelt and her daughter, the French Prime Minister Georges Clemenceau, and Admiral Sir David Beatty. In 1902, the National Academy of Design in New York elected her as a full academician, a rare honor for a woman. She was often compared to John Singer Sargent, with one critic famously calling her the best woman painter in the world. She was not just a successful artist, she was a cultural icon. So what made her paintings so special? Beaux's style was a masterful blend of academic precision and impressionistic flair. She had this incredible ability to capture not just a person's likeness, but their very essence, their personality, their inner life. Her brushwork was confident and fluid, full of energy and light. She wasn't just painting a person sitting in a chair. She was capturing a moment, a mood, a story. Look at her portraits of women and children. They are not stiff or formal. They are relaxed, natural, and full of life. She had a unique sensitivity that allowed her to connect with her subjects on a deep level. Her use of color and light was brilliant, creating compositions that are both elegant and emotionally resonant. She painted with a psychological insight that made her subjects feel real, like you could almost have a conversation with them. In an age when women had limited economic opportunities, Cecilia Beaux achieved remarkable financial autonomy through her art. This was no small feat. She was a savvy businesswoman who commanded high prices for her portraits, prices that were on par with her male contemporaries. She managed her own finances, invested her earnings, and built a life of comfort and independence entirely on her own terms. She even designed and built her own summer home and studio in Gloucester, Massachusetts, which she named Green Alley. This was her sanctuary, a physical manifestation of the success she had built with her own two hands and a paintbrush. Her life is a powerful testament to the idea that artistic passion and financial success can go hand in hand, even against overwhelming odds. Of course, No one achieves success in a vacuum. Cecilia Beaux cultivated a rich network of friendships with other artists, writers, and intellectuals. She was a close friend of the writer Henry James and the artist Abbott Thayer. While often compared to John Singer Sargent, their relationship was one of mutual respect. They were contemporaries moving in the same elite circles, often painting the same class of people. While Sargent was known for his dazzling, almost virtuosic brushwork, Beaux's work often possessed a quieter, more intimate psychological depth. She wasn't just competing with them, she was holding her own, offering a distinct and powerful artistic voice that was uniquely hers. Her friendships provided her with intellectual stimulation and emotional support, creating a community that valued and respected her immense talent. Cecilia Beaux continued to paint and teach well into her later years, remaining a vital force in the American art world. In 1919, during World War I, she traveled to France to paint the portraits of war leaders for the U.S. government, a demanding project she undertook in her 60s. However, her later years were also marked by challenges. A hip fracture in 1924 significantly curtailed her mobility and made painting large canvases difficult. Despite this, she persevered, turning her creative energies toward writing. In 1930, she published her autobiography, Background with Figures, which received critical acclaim. Cecilia Beaux passed away in 1942 at her beloved home, Green Alley, at the age of 87. She left behind a legacy not just of beautiful paintings, but of a life lived with courage, independence, and unwavering dedication to her art. For many years after her death, like so many great female artists, Cecilia Beaux's name faded from the spotlight of art history. The wave of modernism and abstract expressionism overshadowed her more traditional style of portraiture. But in recent decades, there has been a wonderful rediscovery of her work. Museums and art historians have begun to reevaluate her contributions, recognizing her as a pivotal figure in American art. Major exhibitions have brought her stunning portraits back into the public eye, introducing her to a whole new generation. Today, her works are proudly displayed in top institutions like the Metropolitan Museum of Art, the Smithsonian American Art Museum, and the Pennsylvania Academy of the Fine Arts. She has rightfully reclaimed her place as one of America's greatest portrait painters, a visionary who captured the spirit of her age with unparalleled grace and insight. Cecilia Beaux's story is more than just a history lesson. It's an inspiration. It shows us the power of dedication, the importance of carving your own path, and the enduring beauty that art brings to the world. The next time you're in a museum, I encourage you to seek out her work. Look closely at the faces she painted, feel the stories they tell, and remember the remarkable woman who brought them to life. Thanks so much for watching and learning about this incredible artist with me today. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more stories from the world of art. And I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Have you seen a Cecilia Beaux painting in person? Let me know. See you in the next video.